An easy target. That it's how many people describe me since I was a young kid. Blonde, green eyes, and skin as white as snow. Not what you guys would think of a typical Brazilian, right? So, growing up in Rio, a place full of crime and violence, I was constantly reminded that I need to be taking care of myself because of my different appearance from everyone else around me. Do not use your phone in the street. Do not wear your favorite jewelry in the street. Do not give directions to strangers in the street. I knew exactly how to behave in Brazil. Being a Brazilian, we feel like when we're outside Brazil, in places such as North America or Europe, we're safe. However, last summer, while I was doing the Pepperdine program abroad in Florence, I realized that there was something else. It wasn't just the fact that Brazil was violent, it was the fact that I was a girl anywhere in the world. 9:50 p.m. It was a Sunday night, and I had just gotten back from Barcelona, arriving in the Pisa airport, and I needed to catch a train back to Florence. As a good traveler, I rushed to the train station so I wouldn't miss my train, and I didn't even stop to eat or go to the restroom. I went to the Pisa Mover, which connects the airport to the train station, and when I got there, things started to go off track. 10:10 p.m. I finally got to the train station, and the first thing I wanted to do was go to the restroom. But unfortunately, I found out that the restrooms there close at 9:45 p.m. So I decided to go ahead and try to find something to eat because I needed to have energy to write my essay that was due the next morning. So for my surprise, everything was closed. And actually, the train station was really different from what I was expecting. There weren't many people there, and I was for sure the only girl around. So I just decided to go to the platform where my train would arrive. I sat down, got my computer, turned on my phone's hotspot because also there was no Wi-Fi there, and started working on my essay. 11:20 p.m. 5 minutes after the train was supposed to arrive, it finally got there. So I just rushed inside the train, and there was something different from all the trains I've been before. There was no assigned seat, so I just went in the first wagon that I saw and sat down and focused on my writing. Oh, and if you guys were wondering, no, I didn't go to the restroom there because I was scared of leaving my luggage without no one watching. So there was one guy in the wagon with me, and he was probably between his 30s and 40s, and he looked kind of weird to me. I had my computer in my lap and had my phone charging with it. And that man approached me asking if he could use my phone charger. I told him that I was sorry that I was using it. That was true. I was really using it. But being from Brazil, I would have never have borrowed it even if I didn't need to use it. So he went back to the seat that was behind me, and he started doing some weird noises and some weird movements, and I started to get really scared. I called my mom, and there wasn't anything she could do, but she advised me to try to move to another wagon and see if there was anywhere with more people. But I needed to go to the restroom so bad at that time that my body decided that the best thing for me at the time was stay sitting still. 12:30 a.m., I finally started seeing signs of Florence uh, outside the window. I rushed my way out of the train with my computer in one hand and my luggage in the other hand. When I went outside, for my surprise, it had just started raining. And for even a bigger surprise, I didn't know where I was. Yes, I did leave on the wrong station. I started walking around and there was no one in the streets. I tried to call a taxi and no one was accepting my rides. So I found myself walking alone in the rain with no idea of what to do. No bars, gas stations, or hotels near me. 1 a.m., I was still walking with no destination. It was then that I finally saw a car approaching, and it had kind of like a shiny thing in front, which I hoped it could be a taxi. Unfortunately, it wasn't a taxi when it came up to me, but I thought it was actually a young woman driving with her boyfriend in the passenger seat. I was sobbing at the time, and when they stopped to talk to me, they they understood English, and I was able to explain what was going on. So they tried to call a taxi for me, and they didn't have any success either. I don't know how that ended up, but they offered me a ride back home. I know I was far from home, but in that situation that I found myself in, I didn't see any other possibility of what to do. Getting back to the Pepperdine Villa, I wasn't worried that I had broken the Sunday midnight rule. That honestly, I don't think anyone checks. I was still exhausted and just needed some rest, but I couldn't stop crying. I called my mom and finally told her everything that had happened and tried to calm myself down. After that day, I realized something important about all that situation. I had only gotten inside the situation because I was scared of one man. And I only was able to get outside of the situation because I trusted one woman. Because I know for sure I wouldn't get inside a car if it wasn't a girl there. I realized how women have gained so many rights until this day, but we still suffer a lot just because we're scared of men. As Gandhi once said, of all the evils for which man has made himself responsible, none is so degrading, so shocking, or so brutal, such as the abuse for the better half of humanity, the female sex. Thank you.